so much for coming to the You Good Mental Health Summit at Clark Atlanta University, and this session is called Nourishment for the Soul, and we were excited to have you join us because you truly have a testimony. A little bit about how Young Dro, Mr. Hart, came to be.
I think it came to be when I was around, I think 8. I used to sing in the choir for my grandma, and so it kind of stemmed from there. And she always knew that I was musically inclined. You know, she bought this piano, and I remember leaving in and out the house, and I was like, "What is the piano there for?" And she was like, "Oh, you're gonna be singing." I was like, "For real?" You know, and I never did learn how to play the piano, but I did sing in the choir first. So that kind of stemmed from me being musically inclined. Then when I got a little older, you know, I thought singing was kind of like, I was kind of shy to sing like that, especially in front of girls, you know. So I think it transitioned into me being a rapper, but it was a poet first. I used to write poems for girls in school that I had a crush on.
So you're in the music industry, you're dating, you're having a good time. What does that look like for you at the height of your career? What was going on daily?
A lot of depression started to come because I felt like I had to take care of everything and everybody. Nobody really asked, you know, you good, you know what I'm saying? Nobody really asked me, you know, how are you, what do you need? I felt like I had to take care of my brothers, my mom, you know, whatever friend that needed help, you know what I'm saying? All the while, battling addiction. I have low self-esteem. I don't really know what love is like that, you know what I mean? And and everywhere I look for it, I kind of like get, you know, ran over, or, you know, somebody think they're getting over on me, or we're just gonna use him for this, or can you get us in the club, or, you know, could you buy some weed or some stuff, like, you know, whatever you can use me for. And like once I saw that, I was like, well, this is messing with my mental more than I thought, you know what I mean? So, and it started spazzing out to me missing shows. The first show I missed, I think I got sued for like $80,000. And I was like, oh, that was from drug use, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't available to, you know, and then I started missing big interviews, you know what I mean? Atlantic Records, I remember one time they asked where I was. They was like, well, where's Dro? And I was running around. I told them, well, catch me like the gingerbread man, you know what I mean? If you can, you know what I mean? And that got back to the executives and they dropped me.
Wow.
Yes.
Just that easy.
Just that easy.
And so was there a boiling point for you? Did something happen that made you realize something has to change in my life?
Yeah, when people used to always say, oh, you're supposed to be this place, you're a good artist, and this supposed to be this big, this supposed to be that big. So they wanted to blame it on my brother T.I. Oh, he's this and he's that. I was like, nah, all of this was on me. I take full accountability for me using drugs, the friends that I chose, the places that I'm supposed to be. I'm taking all responsibility for that. And the boiling point for me was when I kept hearing that I'm supposed to be somewhere that I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it happened so long, and over a period of time, I still was stagnant in a place where it was just, it'll go here and then it'll stop, and it'll go here and it'll stop. When God just kept blessing me and I kept making hits, you know what I mean? But it could be so much bigger. So at one point, all the way up until now, you know what I mean? Like my boiling point could have been right before the pandemic. My daughter ended up picking up drugs. And when she picked up drugs, she didn't pick up the regular stuff. She picked up the hard stuff. And I was floored because somebody called me and was like, you seen your daughter? And I was like, nah. And you know, because me and my baby mom was having problems. So when I saw her, she was like, they called me, she was like, Dad, I don't look like, you know, how I normally would look. So when you see me, just don't flip out. And when I saw her, I just fell to my knees and I was like, it's impossible for me to tell her to get off drugs, and I'm still on drugs. So I told her that I would go into rehab with her, we could go together, and she wasn't ready, so I had to go ahead of her. And coming up April 16th, I'll have my 3 years.
And so what did recovery look like for you?
Oh, it was beautiful, and it was painful at the same time. I had dual recovery. I had mental and I had addiction. I was there. I was like, well, I ain't crazy, I'm just on drugs, And when I got there, they was like, no, just talk about it. And then I was like, I don't want to really talk about it. I was like, because we were rock stars, it wasn't like I was, running around. We was having a good time. So I was like, there wasn't nothing wrong with that. So I was being tough and everything. So by the time I got in there, I was just crying for like a month, I was just crying, and the lady was like, you okay? I was like, I need you. I just want to talk to you some more, But it was therapeutic to unload what was wrong with me that I couldn't tell anybody, because everybody thought that I was okay, and the videos and the girls and the cars and the club, it looks a certain kind of way. But in the inside is nothing like that. It's almost like walking in the middle of the street alone with nobody to talk to, you know what I'm saying? So it's very important that when I was in rehab that I got the dual help. I was able to see them, I was able to unload, I was able to cry. Guess what they made me do? They made me turn into the drug, which I had to kick pills and lean and stuff like that. So they made me say that. It was like, if you were a Percocet, what would you say to yourself? And I had to sit right here, and I had to be the Percocet. And then I had to change seats to sit where you are, to be myself and talk back to the Percocet. You feel me? So that was powerful. I had never talked to what kind of drug I was on a day in my life, so that was new. And it was also fun, and it was also educating. So I got the proper help, and it helped out really much.
How are you coping with your former lifestyle with your new lifestyle?
Well, things are happening different. I'm at the shows now. My rider looks different. I just got Red Bull in there. It used to be a lot of other stuff. It looks different as far as the opportunities now that I could actually go and grab. You know what I mean? A lot of more things are being put on the table for me, clearing out that dark side of myself, and I have the Still Takes a Village that I have with my manager, Dr. Sierra L. She's out there somewhere. We have an organization called It Still Takes a Village that both of us are the CEOs of, and we're in the communities, we're in the schools, we talk to kids, educating and combating senseless gun violence, you know what I mean, and bridging the gap on mental and behavioral health. I do mentorship, you know what I mean, and I love speaking to kids and trying to telling them from a rapper's point of view, because a lot of kids, they would actually do what a rapper say before they do what their parents say, you know what I mean, but it sounds weird, but I can convince you the kids, hey, look, man, it's not like that, you know what I mean? Because, so they cling to that, you know what I mean? And that's what I do now, just mentor. We talk. She deals with the girls, I deal with the boys.
So it's obvious that you're using your platform to educate people about the benefits of therapy and becoming healed.
It went from, okay, Instagram, I'm looking at this, and then you go down and see, oh, there's a naked model. And then you're like, okay, I'm looking at that. And then you see, oh, this guy with the Rolls Royce. And then, okay, here's another naked model. And then you see violence, And then you see this, and now you're looking at social media for 5 hours. You know what I mean? So 5 hours out of a day. So then you take out of a month's time, all of that, looking at that. So now you just spent almost half of a month looking at other people and all of that energy and all of that stuff. So then you become, me personally, I started to compare myself with other rappers and what they go through, and then it started messing. And then I started looking at my own life and when my album came out and how my outfit looked and what kind of car did I upgrade my Bentley this year, or you know what I mean? And then start to compare. And it started to mess with my mental as far as me putting out the best that I could put out because I'm trying to compare it to each and every one of you guys. You know what I mean? So if I had to switch to this, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? This is a flip phone. We call this the flop. So I mean, like, I couldn't, you know, I had the iPhone, right? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna just delete the app. You know what I'm saying? Then I got bored and I brought the app back up. And then I was like, you know what? I have to just get rid of the phone. You know what I mean? So when I got rid of the phone, I got the flip phone. And I had this for like 2 years, you know what I mean? And I do have enough money for an iPhone, but I just don't want it. I just don't want it. So as an artist, you can't be in between everything trying to get what you need to get done as an artist. That goes for any profession. You know what I mean? You have to be focused on handling the business. Spending a lot of time on that social media will knock you off from how great you are. You know what I mean?
Wow, let's give it up for that. You know, I hear you talk about disengaging on purpose with a flip phone, so I take it you can't get Instagram on that phone, right?
No.
Okay. And so what do you say to those that, you know, they're actually depressed after seeing that? You're telling them to cut it off, but that's how people get their news, and it's taking the place of television, and that's our entertainment. And so how do you advise people to, how can they break away when their entire peers are involved in that method of communication?
I think you should do what works for you. You know, if you're gonna spend a lot of time on the phone, make sure it benefits you. You know what I mean? If you need to be there, make sure it benefits you just as much as you benefit looking at other people. Because they're getting your attention, and when you probably see them, they're straight. You're like, I'm good. You know everything about me, but I know nothing about you. You know what I mean? So I think that you should prioritize once you open that app. You know what I mean? Okay, well, check this out. I have a clothing line that I want to get out there. If I need to use the Instagram or any social media for that matter, you know, I'll use it as for, okay, I'll do 2 hours a day. You know what I mean? I'll do 2 hours a day to figure out what's going on in the neighborhood, and I'll do 2 hours a day on my own promotion. And guess what? I'll take 2 hours off. And if you want to repeat, then that's fine. But prioritize, make sure it benefits you just as well as the news you need, and you know, however else. If you want to have a little fun or recess and look at everything else, then take time out for that also.
I love it. I'm hearing you say prioritize, limit, and focus on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So can we agree to do that? Yeah. All right.
Take accountability for what they did, and that's insane. You know what I mean? And if you walking around saying that I didn't do this or I didn't do that, or you know, I'm not responsible for this, that's actually the worst kind of mental health. That, you know what I mean? That's something that you need to actually check in on, because until the day you take accountability for what you've done, it's almost like a release. It's almost like a lie that you want to tell the truth about. You know what I mean? And until the day you do that, I think that it's going to bother you mentally until that happens. You know what I mean? That's a very, very big difference.
I just feel like this could be a podcast or a show. Like, you are so good in this space and relaying your experiences and how you overcame it. We hope to definitely see more from you, not only in your music, but in your advocacy and as we see you progress in your life. So thank you so much for being here. Let's give Dro a round of applause.
Thank you.
All right.